What's up, Stat Family? I told you we was coming back with another. We got is Larry Bird, the top 10 player of all time. This is a live reaction. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that sub button, and comment below. Let's get it. You already know it's legendary. It's live. We ain't faking no reaction. We in here. I promise you. Goodbye. She's gone. I'm going to go ahead and say it before we get started. You already know Big Bird in my top 10. I don't know about their top 10, but my top 10, I promise you ass in there. The biggest bird. I'm talking about goodbye. She's gone. Real legend. Real legend. Let's get it started, Bird family, Stat family. And I hope everybody having a good day. Thank the Lord for another. I promise you now. Let's get it.
Dennis Rodman, Basketball Hall of Famer, was on Vlad TV. And I thought, oh, okay, what's Dennis up to these days? And apparently he's up to his old ways, saying things about Larry Bird.
If Larry Bird played in this era, I think he'd be in Europe. So I'm just letting you know, man. Really, like I said, I'm just saying you'd be somewhere over there. Because, his game was fit for Boston at that time in the 80s and stuff like that, But today's world, oh, hell no. There's no way. I'm not downplaying him because he's a great player at that time, just like I was. But I'm saying, no, there's no way. I think the kid from Denver is way better than him.
Okay. So Dennis is not disparaging Larry Bird while saying that he would be playing in Europe. He would not be able to play in the United States. I don't know where the compliment is there from Dennis, but, Dennis is a knucklehead when it comes. I should say he's calculated. He is calculated. If he would have come out and said, Larry Bird, he would be great today as he was back then nobody's talking about Dennis Rodman today. How do you get in the headlines or in the news? Then you come out and say something negative about Larry Bird. Larry Bird would be better in today's NBA, in my opinion, because you're able to shoot the three. He would be shooting 8 to 10 threes per game. And back when he played, they didn't use it as the weapon that they use it now. You can't put your hands on him. You can't body him. And all you do is, space the floor, and Bird's going to be able to score. I don't think that would. Today's game, they're so much more athletic. You're not allowed to put your hands on anybody. Yes, he.
But this conversation is, and I don't want to. Today's a great day, and I don't want to pick a fight. Okay. Can we just agree that we'll keep our heads cool after I say this?
You and me?
Everybody.
Oh.
At some point, members of the media are going to have to accept the fact that Larry Bird will drop out of the top 10. I know it's sacrilegious. I just threw something.
Have you started drinking already?
It's at some point he is going to drop out of there, and we're just going to have to accept that.
How about we have Magic and Bird, and they occupy one spot in the top 10?
Because that's how desperate media is to keep Larry in the top 10. Now we have to combine him with another player. They're really the same guy.
Well, didn't Jerry West drop out of the top 10?
Yes, he did.
I'm okay with that.
No.
I didn't cry.
No, but Larry Bird is the one guy that people are really holding on to, that they really need to keep him in the top 10. And there's a portion of the media that are very desperate to keep him in that top 10.
If he drops out, I'm okay with that. I am. Truly okay with that.
Okay.
Okay. I just want to state that I don't, these top 10 rankings, there's going to be a couple of guys that are going to fall out. And you're going to go, wow, that guy is not in the top 10 anymore. It's recency bias. Where does Steph Curry end up? Does Kevin Durant crack the top 10? Does the Joker get in there? Greek Freak? Or, I get it.
No.
And it's basketball is constantly changing and great players. But Larry Bird will always be one of the greatest players of all time and had a window that is almost unrivaled. You know, those first 7 or 8 years, those you can put him up against anybody there. But if Dennis Rodman is being foolish here, but it feels like he's, trolling people. Dennis doesn't really feel that way. That Larry wouldn't be able to play in the NBA at all? Would Dennis be able to play in the NBA? Guy couldn't shoot. He was a rebounder, not as good a passer as Draymond Green, not a shooter. Used to be a really good defender in Detroit. He wasn't a great defender after that because he would basically kind of slough off and then his man just to get rebounds. But as a rebounder, is Dennis Rodman going to be a Hall of Famer? Well, he's a Hall of Famer because he played on teams that had great players. Dennis on his own wouldn't have been a Hall of Famer. But what he did with these other teams, a Hall of Famer. But he's being foolish by saying that Larry Bird would be playing in Europe. It's silly, And then we have to go through Larry's resume here. He won MVPs, 12 all-time, 12-time All-Star, his dream, all this stuff. Dennis knows what he's doing because nobody cares about Dennis Rodman. But having been there, when he did say this about Larry Bird, that if he was black, he'd be just another player. And then Isaiah goes, yeah, I agree. And then all of a sudden, Bird's in the NBA Finals, has to hold a press conference to basically say, it's okay, whatever Isaiah and Dennis say. And Bird let him off the hook because they both said something really stupid, especially Dennis. If he was a black player, he'd be just another player. So Dennis is just trolling people here. Yeah, Paul.
And I'm a birdist. I'm a bird truther. I've always, in all seriousness, I think
Birdist.
You got to look at Larry Bird. I guess if people want to take him out of the top 10 all time, is it because his career wasn't long enough? Because he did play till he was 35. Now, the first 9 years were spotless. Then he had the back injury. So you could say that it's not as long as Kobe. It's not as long as...
Okay, who had a career that was of similar length who's in the top 10? Yes, Mark.
Magic.
Well, Magic won more titles. Okay.
Right. So is it resume?
And then Magic, with HIV, was forced to retire and then eventually was able to come back. But I don't know if we're talking about resume or playing ability or both. But will Magic drop out of the top 10? If Bird's going to drop out of the top 10, who else would be? Karl Malone is not a top 10 player of all time, I don't think. Tim Duncan's in there. We got Russell. You got Chamberlain, Shaq. Steph Curry's there.
Yeah.
He's on the doorstep, man. Yeah, Marv.
Magic is going to be a little bit harder to take out because everybody, for the most part, regards him as the greatest point guard ever.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't regard Larry Bird anymore as the greatest small forward ever.
Who is the greatest small forward ever?
LeBron.
Oh, you can't say LeBron's a small forward. He's not.
He's listed as a small.
Has he been listed as a guard before?
He has.
Yeah, Bird is never listed as a guard.
Right.
Like LeBron is, see, that's why we don't have positions. We shouldn't, because LeBron is not a point guard, two guard, a three, a four. He's whatever you need him to be. Bird was a small forward at 6'9".
Yep.
I don't think he was ever listed. Maybe he was as a power forward, maybe. But Tim Duncan would be in front of Larry Bird if you wanted to. Okay, how about this? Game on the line. Who do you want? Who do you want?
Big Joe. Goodbye.
Let's say the last 40 years. Since 1980, who do you want? Game on the line. Who do you want? How many players would be in that category? You got to win a game. Let's take Jordan out of it. I think we can all agree on that. Now the list gets interesting. Got one pick, Marv. Game on the line. You got this guy.
Kobe.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Fritzy?
Bird was the first name I thought.
Okay. Seton?
Dame, because he hit the coolest game winner of all time.
Okay. I didn't expect that answer.
Dame time, baby.
Yeah. I don't think he's in the top 10 all
No,
time.
he sure isn't.
No, he's not.
Sure isn't, but that was an awesome shot.
Yeah.
Promise
Paulie?
you would.
Bird, he had every shot anywhere in the court. It didn't matter. He had no location
Yeah.
if he did a game-winning shot.
Yeah.
Could you compare Larry Bird, stay with me on this one, a little bit to Lawrence Taylor, where when he was at his best, he was the best, or close to it. He overlapped with Michael Jordan, Bird did. But the two best basketball players I've ever seen in my life, I've started watching basketball in 1980, are Michael Jordan and then Larry Bird, and I think it's very, very close. Best at the game of basketball, not resumes or marketing or shoes. And the best football player I've ever seen in my life, the best two, in my opinion, were Earl Campbell and Lawrence Taylor. Shorter windows, but what they did for a living at their peak. So like Lawrence Taylor, you're a big Lawrence Taylor fan, Dan. People, if you said that, who's the greatest defensive player of your lifetime?
There was nobody like Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah.
That teams, he changed offenses. They had to devise ways to slow down Lawrence Taylor. I mean, if I ended up with Bird and you took somebody else other than Michael Jordan, I'd feel pretty good. I just saw too many of those moments, like real time. And am I holding on to an era? Yeah, to a certain degree, but I did see it. It's like when I saw Michael do that. That's why when people say, oh, LeBron or Michael, I go, no, I'd take Mike. If it was a game, a series, I'd take Michael. The career, then we could have an argument because LeBron will be the most decorated player in the history of the game. But winning a game on the line, I'll take Bird. If you take somebody else, you take Kobe, I'll take Bird. You take whoever else, Shaq, I'll take Bird. I'm okay with that. I have no problem with that. But as far as him dropping out of the top 10, I think that's going to happen. And I certainly understand that. Yes, Mark.
Will people keep him in there because of his importance to the game?
Well, they could. I think him and Magic, the importance of what they meant to the game. Now, should you put them in there because the intangibles of they saved the game, what they did for college basketball, then what they did quickly with the NBA, championships, East Coast, West Coast, yeah, contributions to the game, but I don't know if that's fair to everybody else. Then you do the modern era because Wilt was different. Wilt was Babe Ruth. Bill Russell was a wonderful team player, maybe the best team player in any sport, but wasn't a great player. He was just great for the Celtics. Then you get, natural talent, and then you start discussing that. And then that gets tricky because Bird wasn't a great athlete, which, here he's saying that Joker can't do anything, but, he's a bigger version of Larry Bird. Okay, that's fine. But you're right. There's a certain age group that they're holding on for dear life with these are our memories, and don't you take those away from us. Yes, Eden.
And it's Duncan falling out of the top 10 first anyway, before Larry Bird, right?
I would say yes. If let's say Tim had 3 titles, Larry had 3 titles. There's no discussion here. But Tim has 5, and I have to acknowledge that. But he wasn't a better player than Larry Bird. He just wasn't. Yes, Tom.
And how many points does Duncan get if he was theatrical and outspoken and more of a Sports Center highlight? How close does he get to staying in the top 10?
Well, I think that helps. He didn't want to get noticed. Like I don't think he ever cared about that. Yes, he.
By the way, if I could have a number 2 for a game-winning shot,
yeah,
no question all day. Big Shot Bob.
Big Shot Bob Horry.
100%.
Okay,
That's big time.
let's take a break. Dennis Rodman did what Dennis Rodman wanted to do. We're talking about Dennis Rodman today. Now, I'm being critical of him because he's being silly. But and you're going to hear him laughing. Larry would be in Europe. He'd be in Europe on vacation after roasting you for 35. Is what he'd be doing, Dennis.
I really don't got to say nothing. Big Bird really a legend, man. Real legend. If you do fall the top 10, it's going to be passed by real legends. As a matter of fact, you can never follow the top 10 in my top 10. You in there. You stamp. There ain't no moving. It can't get moved. Cause you know why? You was one of the first ones to do it, so the shit can't get moved. Come on, man. The ones that was the first ones to do it, to make their own, pay their own playing style. I'm talking about this guy paid his own. He paved his own playing style. Come on, man. Dude had an all-around game. Coming into the league. Don't that count for something? Don't y'all think? I'm talking about he had an all-around game. He didn't have to work on that. And he played small forward. He didn't play point guard. He didn't play shooting guard. He didn't play power forward. He played his position. He played the game how it's supposed to be played. See, now you can switch up. You can move to the damn power forward position. You can move to the shooting guard position. You can move to the point guard position. Back then, back then, it was the way how it was. It was organized. The shit now all over the place. The shit all over the place now. I promise you. That's why it can't be moved. You can't move the needle. Because back then, it was organized, and now it's not organized. So we ain't moving people out of the top 10. The people that's in the top 10 now, stay in the top 10. Everybody else on further down, you just build a wall behind it. That's all it is. 10, 11, the other ones. But the top 10 now, that's going to stay. As it should stay. It's legendary. But I tell you though, let's be honest, the guy was out there torching shit, man, on the hurt back. Let's be honest. I'm talking about checking into the games laying on the floor. Let's stop. I'm talking about for real. Let's stop playing though. Dude is a real legend. If you really watch it, you'll feel what I'm talking about. But if you ain't watched it, you're going to click off the video. You ain't going to understand what's going on. So, Dan Patrick, that was big time though, I promise you. And did y'all hear it? Did y'all get the votes in there? Big Bird got 2 votes. There were 2 votes in there. I heard Bird name twice. Dan Patrick and old other dude with the glasses. Big time, 2. But in my top 10, you definitely in my top 10 for good. Shit, you in my top 4. I promise you. You on my top 4. And you already on my top 5. My team, my greatest team of all time. Top 5. Let me rename that. Jeffrey, Bean, Bird, Dirk, Elijah Wine. Shout out to them real legends, man. I promise you. It's big time. Goodbye. She's gone. Bird family, thank y'all for watching the full video. Stat family, thank y'all for watching the full video. We're going to be back with another video after this video. Make sure y'all stay prayed up. Y'all be safe. And y'all be good. You know it.